If you are a fan of Shark Week, and who isn't, frankly, you are going to love my next guest. He is a Shark Week filmmaker, but so much more. It is my pleasure to bring on Jeff Kurr. Hi, Jeff.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here because you are the man on the move. You really are. You're all over the place.
Well, thanks, Michelle. I always like to talk about Shark Week, especially with the great slate of programs we have coming up this year. The ones that I produced, I'm really excited. Some of the best work I think I've ever done in 32 years of shark filmmaking. So I'm very happy with these shows.
I feel like the popularity of Shark Week just continues to grow. So let's go back if we can, because where did it start? How did it originate? And where is your role? How did you start in connection with Shark Week?
Well, I know it started back in 1988, and I think it was just kind of a gimmick that Discovery came up with to attract viewers. And at the time, I'm sure they had no idea it would still be going here in 2022. It's become more than a television event. It's almost like a rite of summer. It brings people together to party and watch the shows and go to the beach, and it just keeps mushrooming. It's gigantic.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that it becomes a summer ritual in a way for some people. People use their vacations because they want to have every day off to be able to watch Shark Week. I mean, it is a huge to-do. So tell me about your involvement. How did you come to be a part of it, and what has your role been?
Yeah, I used to be a news guy back in the day. That's where I sort of learned my TV chops. And one day I answered an ad in the paper for an editor for a show called Shark Week. This is back in 1991, and I wasn't even sure what Shark Week was back then. But I went to this production company, and I edited together a Shark Week show. I really got interested in sharks, just seeing all this footage and hearing the stories. And at that point, I decided I'm going to have to be a diver now. And then I started wearing a lot of hats. I started as an editor, as I said, and then I was filming the sharks, producing the shows, started my own company to produce the shows. And it's always fun. It's surprising. Sometimes it's a little bit hair-raising, the encounters that we have. You could say it's even dangerous sometimes, but that's part of the fun that we have in learning about these animals and filming these animals and portraying them in different ways and telling the stories that we tell, not just about the sharks, but about the people who work with sharks and are involved with sharks. It's been a great 32 years, and still not tired of it yet.
I love how you say it could be considered dangerous. It could be. Now, I'm looking at footage, and I've seen films that you've done in the past, and we're seeing clips, of course, during this interview of some close encounters. It is amazing to me because, first of all, I don't even go in the ocean, Jeff. I'm going to put that out there. I don't like to go into a place where I can't see what I'm walking into or what I'm walking on. So right there, you've got me. But it is amazing to see, some of these films where you're putting yourself. And I have to, at the risk of possibly embarrassing you, when you talk about a few hats, executive producer, director, underwater cinematographer, editor, writer, on-camera expert, you are so closely involved with these films that you've made. And I read something where they referred to you as creative force behind Discovery Channel's Shark Week. You have become such an integral part of Shark Week, and your videos are the top rated, the most popular of Shark Week. So is it so much more that you ever even imagined? I mean, obviously it brings you such joy. So talk about that if you can.
Well, people always say how lucky I am because I don't know. It's just a weird thing about luck being the process of being, prepared and being in the right place at the right time. A lot of people say, how did you get those shots? And how do you get those interactions and that footage? And you must be really lucky, but it's more about understanding these animals and when to be in a certain place. So you have to travel light. That's the first thing I learned in shark filmmaking. Keep the crew minimal. Make sure you give yourself time on the water to capture these things. You can't just go out and jump in the water and expect to get a good sequence and a good interaction with the shark. It just doesn't work that way. A lot of it just means being in the field for day upon day and going at the right time of the year, when the sharks are going to be there, and you want to be in the right place at the right time. It's funny because I was just in Africa filming, in South Africa, a little aside here, and we were filming great whites breaching out of the water at this place called Mossel Bay. And the day that we finished, some orcas, some killer whales came in and they killed one of the great whites, and the great whites just disappeared. They were completely gone. So imagine if that happened before we got there. That was kind of a luck thing, I have to admit. But it's all timing with these animals. So you always have to keep that in mind and plan ahead as much as you can with wild animals.
We now know July 24th to the 30th is Shark Week. You've got 4. Am I in the camera? 4.
Mm-hmm.
4 films. And you have one in particular that's really going to be a big part of the kickoff of Shark Week. And it's not something that people have seen before, nor would they expect. Talk to me about that.
Well, we've been busy this year, that's for sure. And very blessed and fortunate to have 4 films in Shark Week. And, Shark Week has a wide variety of programming. My shows sometimes they have a slightly more serious tone depending on the subject matter. And boy, there's no better example of that than a show that's airing on Sunday night at 10:30 on the kickoff night of Shark Week called Great White Open Ocean. That is an absolute must-see. And I have a feeling once people do see it, the whole world's going to be talking about it. It's the story of a friend of mine named Jimmy Partington, who was a shark diver, ran trips to Guadalupe Island in Mexico, tourist trips to cage dive with great whites. He's been on Shark Week a bunch of times with me before. I actually discovered him back in 2014. We went out in the middle Pacific with Jimmy, and he had an incident with a great white that there's no word to really describe. It's spectacular, scary, incredible. I can't even think of a word to describe it. You just have to see it. But basically, he was launched into the air by a 16-foot great white while in the water with one, and somehow miraculously didn't get a scratch. He survived this incident. I'm not going to call it an attack because it really wasn't an attack. The shark was investigating him as an object in the water. You hear about these encounters, but you never have the actual footage, but we happened to be filming it. And I just remember when the shark made contact with him, my heart literally stopped. I went completely white. I thought he got eaten. I really did. But somehow the shark bounced off and Jimmy swam back to the boat. It was probably 5 seconds, but it seemed like 5 years. By the time he got from where he was in the water to the back of the boat, he survived and he was fine because, he knows a lot about great whites. He's really good in the water. It's the wildest thing I've ever shot in Shark Week in 32 years. The story just begins with that encounter because Jimmy had to overcome a little PTSD after an encounter like that, you would understand. But unfortunately, COVID hit and he was stuck at home for a year in England. He's from the UK and he couldn't go back out diving. He wanted to get back in the saddle, not let the fear of sharks come creeping in because sharks are his whole life. He's a good friend of mine. Obviously, I'm very close to this story, but it's an unbelievable story of his recovery, his desire to get back with sharks and get back in the water is what has kept him going. So it's just a great, compelling story. And I get choked up when I start talking about it because this is real. This is a real story of triumph and tragedy and like the classic Greek story with centered around great white sharks. So I hope everybody loves it. I hope it does well.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. And that's just one that you've got. You've got 3 others. So give us a little synopsis. What can people expect from this year's Shark Week?
Yeah, well, on a lighter note, I mean, there's a lot of variety of programming. I can speak specifically to my shows. On Monday night at 8 o'clock, I have one of my Air Jaws episodes, and that's sort of my bread and butter. I've been doing Air Jaws since 2001. We've done 15 episodes. And this year, they are going out to try to capture the largest breaching great white shark ever recorded. And without giving the whole show away, let's just say they got some amazing breaches on camera. But at the very end, they had to do a little Steven Spielberg type trick to get an unbelievable breach. One of the most amazing ones you'll ever see. It's all in fun, and I think people will really love that show. That's Monday at 8. Air Jaws Top Guns. they're calling it.
Oh, nice. Very and
Yeah,
perfect year. Top Gun and Shark Week
that's
kind of collide there.
right.
That's going to be awesome. What do you personally hope Shark Week does every year, in addition to having fun and getting a little hype and, oh, it's Shark Week. But what would you like to have really carry through to people that watch Shark Week?
Well, when Shark Week started back in 1988, I think people's only frame of reference when it came to sharks was the movie Jaws. And most people were scared to death. A lot of people wouldn't go in the water, Michelle, and still don't because of that movie. But what I hope is that people take away a great admiration, respect, and love for these animals. I think it was Cousteau who said something to the effect of, you're not going to protect something that you don't love. And I want people to love sharks. And I think Shark Week has been very successful in doing that and making sharks the most popular wild animals in the world. And that's what saves these animals is the fact that they're popular. My approach is to showcase these animals as beautiful creatures. And I find that that inspires people to want to save them. So I think that's more effective than hitting people over the head with the message, save the sharks, save the sharks. Why should I save a shark? A lot of people probably think. I'm showing people why they should save them because, man, they're awesome in a lot of ways.
Jeff Kurr, you are amazing. Answering that ad led to this full turn that you never imagined, but I think a lot of people couldn't imagine Shark Week without Jeff Kurr because it wouldn't be the Shark Week that it is. So you are such a big part of that. So I have to ask you
Thanks.
from a personal standpoint,
Yeah.
Does your family freak out when you go on, like, when you said, like, hey, I'm going to be a shark person and dive into the ocean? What was the response from family members?
Um, Everybody thought it was great because, I mean, people that know me, they know that's what I've always wanted to do from day one. It's like Jimmy's story. They all knew he was going to be a shark guy. There's
Yeah.
pictures of him playing with little baby sharks. I mean, when he was a baby, I mean, he's in his blood. He's all about sharks, and I think the same for me. So it's cool now because my wife goes with me on these trips, and she's our still photographer. So all those amazing shots you see of great whites, she takes all those photos. So keeps it in the family.
So wait, so your wife is a still photographer?
Yes, yeah. In fact, she took that photo
Oh my
right there.
goodness.
Yeah,
Now, can
she's
I ask
great.
you, is this too personal? And we don't have to use this in the interview if you don't want
Okay.
to, but can I ask you how you met?
We met. It's funny. That was a funny story. So it was a Sunday night. Shark Week had just finished airing. I went to Albertsons, which is a supermarket here, just to grab some stuff. Wearing my sweats, ratty T-shirt. Didn't expect to see anybody. And I'm standing in line, and I hear this Kurr behind me, and I was like, "Uh-oh, what's that?" And I look back, and it's this really pretty girl, and she's pointing at me, and she's going, "Kurr, Shark Week, Kurr," and she was a big Shark Week fan. This is my future wife that had recognized me because I used to be on some of the shows. Sometimes I still am, but she had recognized me. She's a Shark Week fanatic, and she said, I'm not stalking you or anything, but I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about sharks because I can't believe we're in this small town, and here's the guy from Shark Week, and I'm a huge Shark Week fan. And I remember we walked out to the parking lot, and she showed me her car license plate. It said "Love Sharks," so I knew she
Oh my
was,
goodness.
legitimately a shark
She's the one
fanatic.
for me.
It's just so weird. I mean, randomly coming together. We had lived in the same town for years and years and never met, and so I guess that talk about meant to be, definitely meant to be, and we've had quite a few shark adventures since. So I think we're a perfect match because we both love sharks so much, and she's
Well,
fanatical about sharks.
when you have a license plate that says love sharks, I mean, I think
Yeah,
that's like ding, 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 ding. There's my future wife.
I knew she was legit at that point.
That is such an incredible. I'm so glad I asked that. That's such a wonderful story. I love that. Now, do you have any kids?
uh, I do from a previous marriage, actually. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
They must think it's the coolest thing what dad
No,
does.
they don't. They're
Really?
teenagers. They're 17. They're twins, and they're teenagers. So let
Yeah.
me that should say. Whoops. All it needs
Teenagers
to be said.
from day to day,
Yeah,
you're cool, you're not cool. I hate this. I like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
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 All their friends think it's cool.
Yeah.
Their friends are like, "Ah, the Shark Week guy," and but
And
they're
they're
like,
like,
no. Yeah, it's embarrassing. Can't you just have a regular job? So, can't you be an
That's
accountant?
fabulous. I so appreciate you stopping by, Jeff. I really do. This is going to be awesome. I'm super excited. I always get excited for Shark Week, but I can't wait to see your film. I can't wait to see Jimmy's story and to see how you're able to tell that and the other films as well. So I'm really looking forward to it even more. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks so much. It's always a pleasure. I love talking about sharks. So anytime.
Thank you, Jeff. I have to ask you before you go. The T-shirt can only read. It's a bad week. It's a bad week
My
to
favorite.
be a seal.
That's right. Sharks have to eat. That's
They
the
have to
thing.
eat. It's the food chain. It's the food chain.
That's right.
Thank you, Jeff. All
All right,
right,
Michelle.
take care. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.